Hey, Don here. Well, I was trying to monitor my music on my laptop over here. There's my problem. The daggum script error. And that's what I'm going to make my. Can't show you the script error over here. Same one, though. Same basic one. Jetpack JS 91. Anytime I get on my YouTube channel or my um, it threw me off so much. I didn't think it was going to do it because it hadn't done it in a while. Okay, so I was trying to use my laptop to monitor my stream and hear my audio, my intro audio, so I know when to quit. I'm trying to get that to. I used to do sound for bands and keep hearing stuff. I thought didn't get it. I was trying to stop it. I was sitting there trying to wait for it to play, and it wouldn't come up. It was just sitting there. Finally, I thought, okay, that's too long. So I just went ahead and switched, started up, and then finally the script error came up, and that's what's so bad about them because they take so long to come up and tell you what's wrong. Um, at least I can leave it paused. It should be okay if I just leave it paused, and I'll leave the sound. I think it'll be fine. As long as it's paused, I think it'll be okay to leave the sound on. That's the thing is it starts out with the sound muted and you have to turn it on in the little window. If you've ever looked at the YouTube live stream settings and page, then you know what I'm talking about. But so that's what the video was going to be on anyway. So yeah, see how aggravating that is and how confusing it can be, especially when you're trying to do a bunch of stuff at once, like do a live stream. So at least I can glance over there now. I was, using another machine on a VNC remote desktop, but then that was, that's using a network bandwidth, which I'm sure might be slowing down my video, network band, camera stream that I'm using here off my phone. I'm trying to get, where the mouth moving and me moving is not so out of sync. I do the desktop video on 10 frames per second, and that works good. I've learned that, last year, I guess it was. I learned it in GTK Record My Desktop. I actually do 5 frames per second on it, but the lowest in the default settings in OBS Studio is 10, and it works great. I haven't had any problems except for with the camera stream, it was, lagging. Well, I mean, you can see my hand, like, when I move, it's probably looks jerky. It looks jerky to me right now, and I am a little bit behind still, but I think it looks better because I did at least it was better on just recording a video to the computer. I don't know about for sure what it's going to be like in the stream until I do. This is my first stream, but I changed I had to go down from 1080p to 720p, which I've been doing a long time, but I was doing 10 frames per second because I thought, well, it's probably best to match what my desktop stream is. But now I'm trying to bring it back up, thinking, well, maybe if you feed it enough frames per second, then it'll work out from the camera. So it actually looked better a while ago just doing a recording, but not streaming. I always do record and stream at the same time. That way I have a backup recording, in case something goes wrong with the stream. But yeah, I'm looking at myself in the mirror window here in the mirror. It's way behind. So we'll see if it makes it worse. And but anyway, I went up to 25 frames per second. I never did get to that part, did I? On my stream from my camera. My camera's over here, and my laptop's over here, and the camera's up above it, just on the tripod sticking up, and it worked out really well. I didn't think I could do that. I didn't. I thought I'd have to raise the camera up too high, but I really wanted to raise it about a half an inch to get the laptop lid out of the picture. So all that. Let me go to my desktop screencast here. Now here's what the same similar thing and different. It was 91, I think, instead of 121, and that's why this does you no good at all. This is a screenshot of one of my last errors. Resource GRE modules common ... I guess it's showing you the beginning and the end of the long line there, and then at Jetpack data YT. That's for what YouTube content.js JavaScript. So 121. So I went reading up on it. I remembered I'd had very similar errors before, and what I remembered is it doesn't matter how many times you hit, click don't ask again and hit stop script. Another one will come up with a different number. That's the only difference you'll get out of it. And I had trouble few years ago, real bad with it. And I kind of remembered, but it's been several years ago, so I didn't remember the exact details. But I kind of remembered it. I think it had to do mostly with. It was one particular add-on on that particular time. It wasn't. I don't think it's this again. I don't think. Anyway, it was a particular. It was every time I tried to play like an MP4 file, and it would actually got to where it would crash the browser, I think. But it was just aggravating like that for a long time, and then I think it got worse. But anyway, I might have had two different separate problems I'm thinking of. But I made a blog post on it because I thought I had it fixed earlier today. And I'm not going to sit here and read that off, but this is my blog if you ever interested in. I blog all the time about Linux and computers and audio, and it's anything that interests me, hot rod cars and four-wheeler drive stuff. And so it's Don's Deals blog, donsdeals.blogspot.com is the blog address. But if you get on here and you want to search for something, there's a search up here, but it doesn't work very well, or it didn't used to. I haven't used it in a long time. I forget it's there now. But I put a Google search in there, and it'll search my blog, and it works. It works good, but it gets pretty hard to narrow it down. I will say, you get a lot of error. You still got to sift through the results, but I think it works better than this one. You could try either one. But anyway, if you're looking for some specific information, but like a particular type of whatever it is, But I always blog about my problems and what I've had, on the computers and how to fix them and stuff. Windows and Linux both, but mostly I like Linux, so I don't mess with Windows every day, just every so often. But here's one of the other errors, the script errors. This one was, it didn't say, I forgot to mention that, I already forgot that word, but that other one, when I was reading, and I didn't put that in the blog post because I didn't think it ended up being the problem, but that was a particular way that they wrote the code. It was a way that they wrote the code, and and I found out it was the old way, and they have a new way, a new name. Oh, this is it, content worker. Yeah. It's that other one. I don't know if I can find it again. Let me get it out and see if I can. The old one, Jetpack. That was what they used to call it. Now they call it content worker. So it's the same thing, same problem. Okay, I remember that now. Okay, so the error is, and it'll be all different numbers. Sometimes this part here will change, but I think content worker.js or jetpack.js is what's going to come up. So since it always says, well, this one doesn't say anything about YT in it. Okay, SDK content worker doesn't say YT like YouTube. I haven't figured out what JRE modules are. Common J is, but I may have to. But I thought I had it fixed because, and I'm running. I can't use normally when you put pictures in your blog, you can click on them and make them get bigger. But I built this little post, and I usually don't do that. I usually just copy and paste it into Thunderbird, my email client that I use, and then email it, and it works perfectly, and all that happens. But this time I did it in OpenOffice. I don't even know why I did it that way. Well, I really just started making a note to myself is why. I wasn't planning on posting it. I thought, well, I ought to post this. So since I'd already got all this done, I thought, well, I'll just do it in here. Well, it's trying to be a real pain in the neck, and I won't go into all that, but it was really hard to work with. And I saved it as an HTML file, and then Jet going over, I don't know how loud that is. I saved it as an HTML file and then attached it to the email, and that works too. And the pictures, sometimes I was afraid the pictures wouldn't show up, but they did. But they're part of the document. They're not like separate to where they normally are. Attachments, like when you send them through the email, to where they can be. What happens is they get uploaded to the YouTube servers, and then you can You can look at them separately if you want. If you go to your Google Photos and stuff, everything I ever posted got up in my Google Photos automatically. But anyway, so I can't make them bigger to show where you can read it better. That's what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. But I'm running. I can always just open. I can't remember. Okay, Firefox 5 51.0.164-bit. That's what I'm running. I also have. I put that shortcut right there to run it because I wanted the most updated version to be running all the time. And also because, let's see, if I go here to Internet, this is the one I used to run, and if I opened it up, it would be 50 because I looked at it earlier today or yesterday. It stays a little bit behind. This is the one that's installed through the Fedora repos. This is Fedora Linux, Fedora 23 Linux, and probably because it's Fedora 23 is the other reason. Well, I don't know if that really matters, but Fedora 23 is at end of life, and I'm getting ready to upgrade to Fedora 25. I'm just going to skip 24 now that I waited so long. But I haven't got that done yet because I keep getting off on other things. But and plus, since I have the most updated Firefox, so it's got the security updates and everything. So I'm just running it, and that shouldn't have anything to do with all this, but I'll just go into it. Firefox, I'm running it. I just unzipped it to a folder, downloaded it from their website, unzipped it to a folder, made a shortcut, and then put one on my desktop and one up there. Attached the icon to it. I also have this one here, the blue one. That's Firefox Developer, and that's running from this folder here. And so I'll put it somewhere else just to make sure I don't mess up my programs or anything. So anyway, that's what I'm running, and I hadn't had any trouble till about a couple of months ago, and I started having all this trouble. And one thing, a side effect, and a recent side effect, because I've done this for years. I've got my Fedora 14 system's been doing that since, like Fedora 15 came out or whatever, years ago. And it keeps Firefox up to date. Actually, it's finally got so old that Firefox is not up to in the 50s. I think it's 48 or something now. But there's a lot. I have so many programs on that machine that sometimes I keep it like it is. It's an older Core 2 machine anyway, so it's I just keep it as a backup server, and for my older programs that aren't, a lot of them aren't available anymore in the Fedora repos. So this is screenshots of those same errors I was just showing. I was going to show them in here, but I realized how tiny they are. And so what I did is, first I went in and I just disabled all the add-ons. I got probably 20 or 25 add-ons in my Firefox. I'll just go in here and show them. I can't see any of that. I disabled the ones that I really don't use that much. I got a little add-on happy lately. And then I went back to it was doing it every time I went to my YouTube channel page, and so it didn't do it. So, and there's just some other research showing that's not going to help. I can see how tiny it is now. I didn't realize it was quite that tiny when I started into showing this web page. But so let's just go into my add-ons and show it that way. And I'll close that web page since I really don't think I'm going to need it anymore. So here's the ones I use. I still, have enabled. And these are the ones I disabled. And so what I did, at first I just disabled like bookmarks checker and all these different things. And then I thought, well, I'd better just target. It didn't help, So then I thought, okay, I'll just target. I didn't want to disable all of them because I didn't want to have a bunch of pop-ups and ads and all that crap while I'm trying to, surf and work. So then finally I said, okay, I better target the ones that are specifically for YouTube that I thought might could be the problem. So I did YouTube Plus, which is lets you have it gives you a fine-tune the settings in YouTube. That was the last one I did, and I can't even remember. I think maybe I haven't seen the error since I did that. The one at the blog post, I hadn't done this one yet. And where's the other one? I don't think that works anymore anyways. And let's see. Where is it? There's another one about YouTube in here somewhere. Oh, I uninstalled the other one. So now I wish I had my blog post back up. That's why I went to my blog post. Now I remember. Okay, so you may not be able to see it, but click the wrong one. I intended to open it up in another tab, but oh well. Okay, so the one that I was going to tell about that I kind of skipped over is YouTube View More. YouTube View More Uploader Videos. I disabled it, and it seemed like the script was gone. And so I went ahead and uninstalled it. That's what I skipped over. And I went back to my page, and it was fine. But it turns out it's just took a while for that error to come back. So yeah, YouTube View More. What it did is it put a little. If you were on YouTube, it put a little. You see, we'll go back to my. I'll just go back to my channel and see if it does it again. And if you're on a video, well, let's see if it does it first. But I'll just click on my latest video here, and I'll pause it so it won't be making noise. But up here, I had it had another section. It didn't pause. Had another section that went down to about here. Yeah, even with the bottom of your video, and it had other videos by the persons who whoever's channel you're watching. And I liked that because I could, and you could. It was kind of like it looked like it kind of basically made a playlist of their channel is what it did, their videos, and you could flip through them. Pick other videos and stuff. And of course, you've got the up next related videos, what they used to call it. I still call it that. See, those are all since that's my video. Then a bunch of my videos are right up there, and then there's other people's videos that are similar. That's about the Adreno Uno R3. So there's a bunch, all related. It's pretty good. I use that feature all the time on YouTube. But so I liked it. But I thought, well, if it's doing that, I've got to take it off. Now, see, I'm still on my channel, and I haven't got that script error. And since I've started taking these out, I've been able to stay on my channel for quite a long time without having any trouble, and then it'll happen. And the other machine that did it to me, I have the Firefox. I don't use the sync bookmarks because I lost a bunch of bookmarks the last time I tried to use it. I didn't have them backed up too. I usually back them up manually, but I didn't have those backed up. I lost a bunch. Made me so mad. So I don't use that anymore, but I do use the Addon sync and stuff like that. So because it seems to work fine. So I don't know if that other browser will sync. Sometimes what happens is it'll do the opposite. It'll bring in like a couple of old add-ons came in from one of my other machines that had never been taken off. Instead of they don't let you pick. It's supposedly automatic, I guess, but it doesn't work very well. They don't if you could pick. Okay, I want this to be my control machine. This is the one I'm on most of the time. This is the one I want to change the data on the others, and that would be great. But they don't. It just swaps back and forth, and that's how I lost bookmarks too. It synced the wrong way, But I lost hundreds of bookmarks, and I use them all the time in my blog posts and for my own. You get back to things I've found. That's the only way I can find things. But a lot of these others. Actually, there's only two that are suspects now, and but it may be. I'm thinking that could be a combination, of these. Because they all run on scripts, so different. Maybe I don't know if they're all JavaScripts or they're all. I think maybe you can write these add-ons in different. Like some have Java based and some are written in. I don't know if they're written in Python or not, but different types of script. Kind of HTML. Might be HTML5. I don't know, but anyway, never tried to look into writing one. I wouldn't be any good at it, I don't think. But I'm messing around with stuff a little bit, but I can't. I get lost in all that. I can't really do that stuff. But anyway, can't see I can't things that use a lot of symbols and stuff. I don't do well with. So anyway, The other one's completely gone. So I only have a few more, like that one that has anything to do with Uh-oh. I thought it had started locking up. Had anything to do with. Okay, yeah, YouTube. But I've had that for a long, long time, 2 or 3 years. No problems with it. And let's see. These are all, every one of these I have in here are good add-ons, unless they're causing trouble. Then, of course, that's a different thing. And see, what happens is they may be working really well, and then YouTube makes changes in the, YouTube website, and then it starts causing trouble, and they haven't caught it and updated yet, or maybe they fall behind. They quit developing them. Like this one here. I really like this one, but if you look in the last update, I think it hadn't been updated in a while. Let me see. 10/31/16, so it may be getting long in the tooth, and I may have to quit using it. I disabled it for a while, and I tried out. I've tried it before. Let's see, what's it called? It's one made by the Free Software Foundation that blocks tracking and ads and all kinds of stuff, and they were saying, I don't remember where I saw it. I might have been looking at add-ons, and it said this has all been updated and it's working better than ever. I tried it several years ago, and it blocked things that I want to work, and then I wouldn't remember, and I wouldn't, and it got aggravating, confusing. And I used it for a couple of months, 2-3 months, just the other day. I went ahead and I turned it off, and then I shut it down after a week or so, because I just realized, it's kind of just causing me too much. I can't remember to go up here and click on these things when things don't work most of the time. I'm used to AdBlock Plus, and so that's the first one I'll go to. But when you got more than one up there, then you just get yourself confused. So it still works really well. AdBlock Plus does. I did realize that there's a lot of tracking. Well, it's about ads. It's not about tracking. So Better Privacy is about tracking, but it seems to be getting old. That's why I disabled it, is what I did, and then I installed that. If I could find, my screenshots went wonky. Normally I can just keep them organized by the newest, and they'll come right in. And when I open them up in WinView from Crusader here, they will go in the order of the way I took them, but some reason they didn't do it, so I'm not going to do it again, because I don't think it'll work. But anyway, usually I can just thumb through my screenshots and show them like a show and tell, but I didn't want all the other ones that have nothing to do with what I'm showing, because I do a lot of screenshots because I don't remember stuff good, and I can go back and look through them. But so right now, all this time, I'm good. But I still don't know for sure if I'm fixed or not. So I just wanted to go ahead and make this. I was already planning on making this video, because I thought I'd figured out how to fix it. And then during the meantime, while I was getting everything ready, and I was doing a bunch of changes and settings with OBS Studio that I used to make my videos, and it came back. The error came back. So right now it's okay. So usually, especially if you have a lot of add-ons, see how many I did have enabled, plus one more that I uninstalled today. If you have a bunch of add-ons and your machine starts using up too much memory, or really the biggest problem I used to have, it was use up like half of the processor. Of course, that was on the Core 2, the dual core. This is a quad core i5 with 4 gig of RAM, so it can handle more, But it's still no super machine, that's for sure. Because the bad thing about it is it only has 256 megabytes of video memory. I've had more than that on all my other machines for quite a while. Like at least 328 or whatever it is, whatever it works out to be evenly. But yeah, everything's going okay though. Otherwise, see, you can always tell too. See, I always use this system monitor to tell what's the offending app, and that's about what Firefox usually does. OBS Studio's not doing bad at all right now. Sometimes it'll go up to, if one of them starts using too much memory, it'll be up to 1 gig, 2 gigs. They'll crawl up to, if something's really using it, like that error will cause Firefox to use up all your memory if you let it keep running, if you don't catch it. And the other ones in the past would use up all the CPU more than the memory. But this problem recently is memory. It's like these scripts have memory holes in them, and they're using all your memory up. So one thing I can say is it usually is the add-ons, something to do with your add-ons, especially, like if they're older, or of course, like if you go to YouTube and you have, and that's when it happens, then look at your YouTube add-ons. And it took me a while to even kind of remember that. I didn't want to fool around with it. I had too much other things I wanted to do. So, sometimes I can go here, like a while ago anyway, I could go here and then it'd be fine. And then if I switch to something else within my, YouTube pages, my admin pages, then that's when it would cause trouble. Let's see. I'll go to the live streaming and see. I could probably start playing my stream. Let's see if it happens. Because this is what happened a minute ago on the laptop when I was trying to use it. So yeah, it's working. I won't turn on the sound because that's good that it starts up muted, because it gets really confusing when you're talking and then you hear it yourself. So I'll pause it. That didn't happen right away. I may be getting that error. Yeah, I bet you I am. I bet it'll come up in a minute. Yep, there it is. Resource Fury modules, common J at Jetpack data YT contents stop script. Now that won't really help the problem. Let's see what it's doing to my memory. See, it jumped up from 4 something or 3 or 4 something to 701. Now it's 649. It's going down a little bit, but usually it doesn't. See it going back up. It won't really go down and quit doing that. It opens up. I would say that's what you would call a classic memory hole. I've read about them, And I read about everything, even if it's something I can't do, like programming. But so now it goes away. It's all good. And sometimes if you keep letting it climb, I end up having to reboot before I can even use the machine anymore. So it's really aggravating. So I'll just leave it right there. See there, you're just sitting there on the Google. It's about around 400 megabytes, and that's pretty much where it was a while ago until I got that script error. So might not be. There are other things. Let's see. Well, now I haven't tried. Like I said, better privacy is getting older. Let's disable it. I'll have to restart for that one to disable. Because I did have it off for a while, but those script errors they were just kind of coming and going. And I did start thinking about that one add-on. Maybe if I put it back on there, it would. But I don't remember that it stopped those errors either. So I thought about, they have one called No Script they've had forever. I thought about doing that, but then that would, I don't think it would help. It would probably not stop those kinds of scripts. It would just stop all your Java. I don't have actually have Java on here. Here's what I have in the way of plugins. That's it. This browser doesn't have anything to be jacking it up. It doesn't have Flash, doesn't have Java. I don't even have ICT, the Linux version of Java, the open source Java applet. It just has what came with the browser, Open 264 to play, MP4s and all that kind of video, and wide-vine content for Google, or by Google, so it's for Google stuff. Playback protected web video. And I can play pretty much everything I want to play except for Flash videos, and if I want to do that, I go over there and open up this other version that has Flash and Java, ICT installed and stuff. So it's a pain, but it's worth it really, because Java and Flash just do all that to your machine. All the trouble I'm having here with this script, without any script errors, it does all that to your machine. So What's the next one? I'm thinking of some. The last time years ago when I had this problem, it turned out to be a plugin, GStreamer. That was the name of it, I think. But I don't have that. I don't have those two plugins installed. So let's go to YouTube again. Doesn't show it up. Oh, there it is. Now let's go to my channel. And where do I want to go? Okay, the last time when I went to my live, first I got to go. You have to click five different ways just to get. They don't put everything on the side panel. So if you just want to go to your live stream, you can't get there without clicking on all kinds of crazy stuff. I know I'm in a bad mood. Those things haven't been working right. Okay, so there we are. We're playing. Now I'll just pause it. Uh-oh. Didn't respond. And what I want to do today is upload some more, or transfer some more videos from Google Photos to my YouTube channel. There it goes again. And it keeps looking like the exact same one. It even has the same number on the end. So see, that is the same exact, what I can tell, it's the same exact error unless there's stuff missing. I think that's showing the beginning and the end, that dot, dot, dot. I think there's, missing in that address there. And I need to stop it instead of talking about it. It looks to me like the same one, but that doesn't stop it from coming back up. Now I can pause my stream. And I'm sure it'll be using all kinds of memory again. Yeah, but it jumped up. It's using 5%, 9% of CPU as well. And that's after I stopped that script. So really, you need to hurry up, close the web browser, or else your machine's going to get all locked up. Look at that. Okay. I see. If you can't go 2 minutes, you can't. I mean, you're counting down to seconds until you're in trouble. So it's really, really aggravating. Now, I'll go back in there one more time. I was going to say I'll show you that, if you go into Firefox Developer, it probably is add-ons, I'm guessing, because let me just go into Firefox Developer. I don't think it has much. The only thing I know of it has on it is AdBlock Plus. But it'll play Google. I can't play Google Photos. Now I can't go to YouTube. For the last couple of months, I was able to watch videos, but I just couldn't go to my admin channel. So I would just open up this one to do that. And so if I go in here to my videos list, it shouldn't do it. There's another script error that you get when you're transferring videos from Google Photos to YouTube when you do a bunch. If you do like 30 or 40, it's fine. If you do 150, 250, then you'll have to set. I got it to work by sitting there babysitting that error and click. It comes up differently, and it comes up quicker in here, and you can click it quicker. But I should be able to go to the live stream page here without any trouble. Okay, I can see my mouse moving, and I can pause it. So I shouldn't get that problem in here. And the add-ons in here are just one, AdBlock Plus. So that leads me back to thinking, okay, it's an add-on problem. And this one just has the same plugins. So it's not a plug. The last time it was a plugin problem. So it's not a plugin problem because I have the same two plugins in here. And some plugins are no longer supported. Well, I don't know why that's in there. Unless I had tried. I don't believe I tried to install any plugins because I didn't want to get it mucked up. So should be able to just start and stop and do whatever I want in this one. But I don't like to surf this way because I like all my add-ons. There's so many different, and all my bookmarks are in the other version. They don't transfer over into this one. And I have noticed, that reminds me, I have noticed that, just kind of flip around in here and see if it happens. I have noticed that the more bookmarks you have, the more, sometimes you'll start getting odd script errors too. So it could be that, because I do have a lot now. I'm telling how many I have now. But I think I'll go back into the other Firefox and see. It was something odd. I don't know if you can see that, but whenever you run that version of Firefox, you always get two things running, Firefox and web. And you don't see that when you run regular Firefox. And sometimes, if it does start acting up, well, like if you're trying to transfer photos from Google Photos to YouTube, that web will start using up like a gig of memory and stuff, more and more. Oh, I wanted to try this. I want to see if while I'm live, if I can play my live stream. If you can, I don't know what address you use. It's not that one. That's just the one that was in the web browser at the top. You can do videos. You know, for years you used to be able to, actually used to be able to set VLC within Firefox to be the external video player, and it would automatically play them in there. But I quit doing it because it was kind of, I didn't like every single time you click on a video, it would jump over to it, and so I ended up not liking it. There are times when I would like to do that though, but right lately it's been working. But not on every video, on every page. So if I go to see, you can't go straight to your watch. If I guess I could use my history if I'd be thinking. I could use my history. So I guarantee you it'll do it again though. Actually, I really meant to go to my... Oh, that time it worked. So let's hit play again. Uh-oh. No. See, now it's not responding. So I caught it before the script locked it up. What I really meant to do is go to my tools and add-ons and see if there's anything else I'd want to disable. I guess I'm going to have to disable them all one at a time to ever figure it out. Yep, we're stuck. There it is. I clicked and it came right up. I don't think I made it click. And it's the same one, it seems like. Maybe because I'm on the same page. But see now, look at there how much CPU it's using because I kind of sat there longer. Close it. You have to, or else. See, now it's starting to use up all the CPU. OBS Studio is using more now, so that's the other thing. See, that's using its share of resources right there. Make sure I'm still live. Live like I'm supposed to be. Now, if I click, I'm gonna go click on my laptop and see if I can see my stream. It'll probably just lock up again. I hear echoes. Oh, that's my beginning music. That's where it was at the beginning. I hit reload to try to get to where I'm at now. I don't know if it'll work long enough to do it. I forgot I probably should have closed the browser in that machine. Surprised it didn't lock up. Okay, now it's showing what I got going here. Try it and pause it. I think it's too late. It's already getting the script error. If that machine locks up, it won't be, it's not the one I'm recording on, so I wouldn't like it, but it wouldn't be the biggest thing ever. But yeah, it's going to do the script error. But it still hasn't come up and paused yet. Nothing's moving in there, like what I'm doing, on my live screen. Add-ons. Okay. It's just really hard to know what if it's not something that has to do with YouTube. Well, I can disable that one. It's got to do with YouTube. Oh, there's that script error. Let me stop it. I can hear the fan. I can always tell when that thing's working hard. The fan runs really fast. Uh-oh. It's starting to mess up the machine. I gotta go force kill it. It's not even responding when I try to. 50% of CPU and the same amount of RAM, 796. That's a dual core, that laptop. So that's the only reason. Yeah, I had to kill it. That's the only reason that I'll just leave it like that for now. I won't even open up YouTube again. It's the only reason that this one is not using as much CPU is because it's got 4 cores instead of just 2. Okay, so add block. I've used these for long years. Except for that Nimbus screenshot. That was one that came in from, I used it for a while and then took it off, and then it just came back, and it was because I figured out it's because I had it on like the laptop or something, and it never had took it off. And it didn't get taken off automatically like it should. Instead, it came back from over there to over here. I think it was actually a different older machine that I booted up that was synced to and it did that. So all this stuff I've had for years and years. I've been using Firefox since before I got into Linux in 2005, and I discovered Firefox back a year or two before then when I was running XP. Okay, so this one is YouTube, so I'll disable it. Now, I'll leave it. It doesn't say you have to restart, so I'll just go ahead and go to YouTube. I guess one good thing, all these others, I know if I want them, I can keep them. Let's see. Oh, I should have went to my history. There we go, live dashboard. Now let's see what happens. This is monotonous, but it's actually be a good lesson for me, a good reminder for myself if it figure it out. And if anybody happens to watch it, well, that's good. I help them too. Y'all have this live chat thing, but nobody's watching. But even if they were, I wouldn't be looking at it most of the time. I'll be off doing stuff. Nope, there it goes. So that's not it either. Same hour even. So I've got to do what I've got to do, though. I've got to close the browser. That's why I've just been letting it go, because I thought, well, maybe they'll fix it in an update, you know. Sometimes they do fix that stuff in an update. I got a feeling that this time it may not even be add-ons, because I can start, I'll have to go in there and figure out how to do it, but I can start Firefox without any add-ons at all. There's a safe mode, basically. They call it safe mode. And you got to do something. I forget what you do. And then I could start enabling them either way. Disable them one by one or enable them one by one. It's still doing the same thing. But I already know that it's not these. All those. Now, some of those I've been kind of meaning to get rid of anyway, because I'm really not using them anymore. But and the more you have, the more of your resources, you know, they're using, because they're all running in the background of your web browser. Adblock Plus. I wonder. Well, no, it's not Adblock Plus, because I have that in my. Unless it was the pop-up thing. It could be fighting with it. There's so many different. You know, Firefox has its own pop-up. Let's disable that one. It may not be necessary anymore. It used to be necessary, definitely, even because the Firefox pop-upper wasn't any good. It didn't do much at all. That doesn't run unless you click on it. I mean, I may be doing something in the background, like I said. Element hiding helper, that's a good one. I like that. If something keeps bugging you that it didn't get automatically, you can right-click and click on it. Click, right click and do this, do that, and then make it go away. Click on the one you want to make go away. All that screenshot. I'm going to try that next if this one don't work. So remind me that's the next one I want to try. All these others have never given me any trouble. So I don't think they would be it. But I'm going to have to restart to get that one to go away. Okay. Now, if I can find it, that would be very, very good. Now this time I'm going to remember to go use my history. Go straight to the one that that seems like the one that'll really do it. Okay, there we are, showing, it's just a little bit behind, so it shows what I just did. And, okay, it looks like it locked up, because I'm moving my mouse and nothing's happening. Nothing happened when I click on pause. So, yep, fixing to get that error. And I tried some other browsers and got into all kinds of trouble there too. Let me close that. I tried, I just happened to see that on my homepage that I use, Vivaldi, which is based on Chromium. And it's kind of cool. And it runs good, but it won't even play YouTube videos. But it doesn't use hardly any system resources. I haven't tried it. It's based on Chromium, which is what Chrome is built on. It's the daddy. Chromium is the daddy of Chrome, the Google web browser. I have Chrome on here, and I had it up there, but I took it out because it won't even run anymore. It's gotten so, and it may be because of the having so many bookmarks and add-ons in there. But I'm thinking because, but it won't even run. You can't even use it anymore. And it always does that when your system gets older. It doesn't update anymore. They stop updating as soon as your Fedora system gets out into life. They stop updating that version of Chrome. So you gotta. But I just used to. Only reason I never used Chromium, the real one, the real one I would consider, is because it was hard to install. You had to compile it from source and all this stuff and add on. And then I did it once, I think. I think I installed it. I might have been in a domain system. You could install it in there just by, going to your repos and clicking on it and installing it. But then you didn't have add-ons, and it was hard to install them and stuff. But this one, all of a sudden it appeared in the Fedora repos, and you just click on it and install it, just like normal. And I was able to. It was all set up where you could log into your Google account and import all your bookmarks. And I'll just open it instead of just talking about it. You can import all your bookmarks and add-ons because otherwise you've got all the pop-ups and the ads and all that crap that I can't stand. I can't read with all that blinking and all that moving stuff. So it was doing really well, just like Vivaldi, like using 200 megabytes of memory and just working really well. And then, but it does that. If the page is not, I think it's saying that it says HTTPS Amazon.com, and that's my home, one of my home pages. I have two of them, and it won't let you go there without. I don't know what. Maybe you can. I guess you can do that and say, yeah, proceed, unsafe. It's telling you not to go there, and it's Amazon.com. It should be all right. I mean, I don't know why it's saying that. Wither.com, now they have ads and everything galore on there, so there's no telling what kind of tracking there is on there. But let's see what it's doing. See, it's just started it up, and it's already using 1.3. I don't know why. Oh, it's 1,300, and actually that's more than that. That's such a big number I can't read it. Kilobytes. Wish they would just show it in megabytes at least. If not. Oh yeah, that's right. It'll tell you if you hover over it. So it's 1.3 gigabytes of memory. But with memory being way beyond kilobyte size, I don't know why they don't just start with megabytes and then. So anyway, just running. and that wasn't like that until I added all my add-ons and stuff to it. And so what I decided, well, it will run. I can use it, and I have all my bookmarks and all my add-ons in there. I was going to show the where is it? Here's some of them right there. Anyway, that's a little bar that shows your add-ons and stuff. And I think there's a few more, but I put those as quick. I think that one will show you. Yeah, that'll show all of them. So that's all I have on there now. I did have about twice that many, and I took them out so it would trying to make Chrome run better. This is what was in Chrome, but just some basic stuff to try to make it block the crappy ads and stuff. And ads track you too. And then the bad thing about ads, the worst thing about ads now is that I'm going to close it. Open up this Vivaldi. Now, this is a fork, just like Chrome is a fork of Chromium. Well, Vivaldi's another fork of Chromium. I don't know if it's a true fork, because they have their certain ways you're supposed to say that stuff. But anyway, it's what it's based on. And but adding your bookmark and what I really, if I hadn't experienced it over the years, I would have never believed that just having more bookmarks cause them to use. Why having bookmarks? They're just HTML files and lists of links. Why would that make your browser, use up lots of memory? But one or both of those things do. Really, it seems like one does part of the trouble and the other one does the other part. But this is pretty neat. You can change the colors, do all kinds of things you want with it. I don't have any. That doesn't work like normal in Chromium or Chrome. That would bring up bookmarks. I guess I don't have any. And down here somewhere you can click. Maybe change. There it is. That brings up your bookmarks on the side, which is okay when you have a wide monitor like this. But there's a Vivaldi browser tutorial. Now I don't believe it can play them. Oh, it's playing it. Well, why did I click on a YouTube video and it couldn't play it? I wonder if it was one of my videos or something. Okay, there's my channel. See if it can play that. I don't know what I... learn how to use Linux in just 5. And of course, that ain't me, and I'm sick of that ad. So I would never use this without some ad blockers. See, my ad blockers I use... I watched it once just to see what it was, and it was just an annoying sales pitch. It's about Linux. They're trying to get you to pay them to teach about Linux, and I mean the whole thing about Linux and open source is everybody shares the information freely. So I don't know why anybody would pay the guy when all you got to do is watch thousands upon thousands of other videos or read millions upon millions of other websites for free. That's the whole basis of open source, is to share knowledge and software. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's great if you can find a way to make money with, something you love like Linux. But it's just cheesy, like TV infomercial cheesy. That's why it bugged me. But anyway, it's a pretty cool web browser. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back to my channel. And I'm pretty sure that I won't get that script error on there. I don't like that being up there. It just confuses me. Okay, let's go to I'm on my channel. Okay, now go here. I may have the links in there somewhere, but I'll just do it this way. Okay, live stream. And it should do fine. So I could probably use this to yeah, it's working. There, now I can hear myself. Now I can use this, I guess, to I'll just let it play there without any sound and see there. It is using some CPU, but memory is not going nuts. It doesn't have that huge memory hole with the script errors like Firefox does. It could be a Firefox bug, in the newer version of Firefox. It may not be an add-on problem. I think I'm beginning to find out it may not be an add-on problem. But now that's quite a bit of CPU, but that happens with apps from time to time, especially web browsers when they're playing videos. HTML5 is what I'm sure it's playing on, because there's no flash in here, I don't believe. Yeah, I know there isn't because I didn't install it. But HTML5 uses its own share of resources. I paused the video. Okay, the live video. Now it hasn't really changed though, but the memory's good. So you see, I could actually, unless that kept climbing in the CPU usage, I could probably use that to monitor my live stream without a problem. But there's one thing really weird. Every program on my system, I can go over here and say move, like in the window area, and say move to a different desktop. This one doesn't even have that. And I think Chrome is either not there or you can't find it, but you can take it and drag it to a different desktop. But that's all that happens when you try to do it in this. So that's pretty sucky. I don't like that. But because I have to put things, I'm so used to having things in the same place that I can't really operate unless I keep them in the same desktop. So yeah, it's still using some CPU, but I can open that up and check my stream when I need to, make sure it's still working. I'm going to close it so that I just won't be using resources. Look at all those attached applets that go with it, or parts of the app or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go back to regular Firefox and do a couple more. I'm going to try a couple more times to see if there's something I can do to make that quit doing that. But yeah, that's how I have this one set up. Google, and that I like this UStart homepage, and you can put whatever kind of news feed you want in there. I don't know why. A minute ago I mentioned it for some reason, but that's what it is that I use. Add-ons. All right, so it wasn't any of these. So what else could it be? See, the rest of them, I'm pretty sure. Well, Video Resumer does interact with YouTube. What's the other one? Oh, Nimbus. Okay, I keep having a feeling I should try it, so I'm going to try it. Because it is one that I haven't been using. I've used it on and off for a long time. But not. Okay, you don't have to reboot. But the other one that has something to do with YouTube is video. I've used it for at least 2 years, Video Resumer, down here. And it hasn't ever caused any trouble, and it's great because wherever you stop on the YouTube video, no matter what machine you get back on, as long as it has this add-on, it starts right back there. See, because I might start one on this machine and then say, oh, I'll finish it later and go get on my laptop to watch it on the TV before I go to sleep, and it'll start right back where I left off, and I really like it. And as far as I know, YouTube doesn't do that on its own, and didn't used to. Okay, so let's go to YouTube again. Let's use my live dashboard. I know what page to go to now. So let's see what happens. Okay. It's weird showing what you just did. That's how far the stream's not very behind your real time, just a little bit. Well, yeah, it's not moving up in there. See, when I move my mouse, you're not seeing anything yet. I'll wait. I'm not going to click pause yet. I want to see if it does it. Yep, did it. Starting to get a feel for it now. All right, I'm going to close it before it's too late. Look at there, 27% of CPU. This is an overall CPU. You can look at each one separately here in this graph. You see there, it's using more in 2 of them and less in the other 2. See, and your memory, you can look at your memory in a graph. I just usually do it this way because I can see the actual names of the apps and all. I can start and stop them and kill them and stuff. Sometimes you have to do that. I mean, it'll get to where you can't even hardly control the machine at all. It's barely responding really quickly. I'm starting to think it's not even an add-on problem. Let's do, no, I can't go straight to my, I started to say I'll do restore previous session, but then that would make it happen faster than I could do my changes in here. Okay, add block plus. Add video hunter. Video resumer. I mean, well, these others, all those video apps do interact with YouTube. They interact with all video sites. Let's see, disable. So I guess those will be the next one, but I've never had trouble with them before. So, yeah, I don't have to reboot. Okay, so just wait. Let's just see if this one does it. Okay, that's showing. I'm moving my mouse around just to see, give it more stuff to do, for me to tell if it's working or not. Yeah, see, you can see my mouse moving over there in the middle, and I'm just keeping on moving it over here in the chat area now to see if it goes over there. So far, it's still working. I just realized if I get it away from this window, then I'll be able to tell better what's going on. Uh-oh, mouse stopped responding in the video. It's a little behind, so you kind of got to wait and see. Oh, it's more behind than I thought. So no, it didn't stop responding yet. Move down here now. Is that it? Could be. I don't want to move off I keep wanting to move off the screen and go do other stuff and to see, just for what I couldn't see what's happening, you know. And I won't be able to, if I get off of here, then it won't respond for me to come back to kill that script either. I mean, I can go back over here and kill Firefox over there, but I don't want to do that unless I have to. You know what? Which one was that? Forgot which one it was. Was it Video Resumer? I've absolutely forgot which one it was. I think it was Video Resumer. Yeah, because look, it's still highlighted where I clicked on it. At least I'm making a video and I can go back and tell. I may have just found it. Yeah. So far it hasn't locked up and hasn't got that script error. You never know when something will go wrong. It can be working. I've used that one for at least, I don't know, I'm bad with time, but I swear it's been 3 years. At least 2. And don't really remember having trouble with it. But that may be it. Let's see if it's old. 2/01/16, 02/01/16. So yeah, it's about a year old now since it's been updated. I bet you that's it. I bet it has not been updated. Since this hasn't been updated in a year, some changes probably got made in YouTube that it made it do that, and the developer hasn't updated it. So, and I always keep them on automatic updates so that they'll update. I'm going to go ahead and uninstall it. I should be able to. What I'll do before I uninstall it, I'll go ahead and, where is it? I'm going to leave everything like it is right now since I've got, well, no, there's some things I probably want back. Okay, so Video Resumer, I'm going to uninstall. I'm doing a screenshot first to remind me so I can go back and look at it. Because I might not find this spot in the video again. At least I have a video of it, but let's see if it still looks good over here. Looks good. It's, when I go down here, when that comes up like that, then that means I'm in good shape. So I'm going to say remove. That's another thing. I love this screenshot app, Shutter. But now do I have to? No, I don't have to reboot it. I probably will in a minute, but let's just go back over here. Shutter here does the weirdest thing. These are all full size. They're not thumbnails, they're full size. And it will never stop displaying, holding them in the program, and it uses up memory. So you got to do this every so often, or it will slow down your machine to a halt. Usually I'll just go ahead and close this app altogether, but then it makes it take longer to do its screenshot. Oh, there's what I was just doing. So this is working. Well, I'm kind of finally getting happy again. I wish I'm going to open up Firefox on this laptop and see if it will sync and get to be just like this one. I guess if I say sync now, it might do it. Once it gets opened up good, I may try that. Oh, it went back to the YouTube page, so it'll probably try and lock up. I'll hit the home page and maybe that'll make it not do that. But let me do that right quick while I'm thinking about it. And I'll just leave this where it is. I can't show you what I'm doing. I'll just have to do it. Let's see. There used to be a sync now button in there. It says sign in to sync, but I should be signed in. Unless it's lost its password or something. I don't see sync now. Well, let's see if it's signed in to sync then. It's acting like I'm not signed in. I'm afraid it's going to go the wrong way, and I think it's signed in. I think it's just doing that. Go to the add-ons. But it is not, well, it doesn't have near as many installed. I don't think it's been syncing. Maybe I turned it off because I was having that trouble I was talking about. Decided to leave this one where it was. But what was that app now? Video Resumer. Okay, well, I'll just remove it. There. It doesn't have near as many add-ons in it. So it hasn't been syncing. Okay. So I uninstalled the Video Resumer. Now I'm going to go to my live dashboard over there and see if it keeps working. So far, this is still working just fine over here on the machine I'm on. So I may have fixed it. I think I will, as long as it seems alright, I might wait a little while. Okay, there we go. It seems to be working over there too. So I'll just let that one run for a while and see if it does it. Let the laptop run. And I'll get out of it in here. Let's go see what I'm doing in my system. Now Firefox it quit. As soon as I got out of the live preview, it was way up there at 21% of CPU, but the memory wasn't so bad. About normal for Firefox. That's back to normal after getting out of that preview, which is what I would expect. And I can glance over at the laptop, and it hasn't locked up. It's showing what I'm doing. So it's Video Resumer. You're a bad boy now. So all these others, I can probably re-enable them, but I'm just going to wait. Well, let me see. Well, that I want. I'm going to go re-enable the ones that matter. Privacy. The ones that I use a lot, I'm going to re-enable them and see if it's still okay. Or the ones that I like, even if I don't use them all that much. There's one like that Zoom page. I used to, I guess Firefox wouldn't, I've had it for years, and but what you can do, well, you can click on those buttons when it's enabled up here at the top, But you can just hit Control plus and Control minus to zoom in and out on the web page without it, because I disabled it and it didn't make any difference. But I think you used to have it for it to work. I think they've made it a feature of Firefox, so I really can uninstall that, but I won't do it right this minute. Okay, yeah, the simple sort. I really don't use that media converter because it uses up too many resources and I can't surf while it's doing it. I just use apps on my machine. Let's see, translator. I don't think translator works anymore. I may turn I didn't know if that Foxy was causing the trouble. And actually that Foxy spider, I just used it to make a web page for my website the other day is what I did. I remembered it, or I saw it or something. I think I saw it in my bookmarks or something. I was trying to figure out a quick way to make a web page with a bunch of my music that I'd done on it. But you can point it at a folder. You can do it. You can do it on the internet, and it will make a page where you can play everything on that page, and then you can save it or just use it and then discard it. Or you can do it. I did it on my. I put all my files on my web server because I run my website from my own server right here. And I put all my files in a folder and then pointed it to that folder, and it made me a web page. And then I had to spend a couple hours editing it the way I wanted it, but it seemed easier than manually. I don't know if it was quicker because it was hard to figure out how to edit it. It was kind of laid out weird. It had these invisible. I don't know if they were. I'm used to using not frames. I don't like frames. I lost my word. If I was in an editor, I could say it. But anyway, squares that you can drag stuff in and keep things separated and keep them in the place you want on the page. Well, it'll come to me at some point, probably after I finish the video. Anyway, you can see the lines, like these lines. And I want to say tabs, but it's not tabs. But you couldn't drag this stuff around, and so finally I finally figured out how to make it more like what I wanted it, but and get rid of some of the stuff I didn't want that it did. But okay, so I'm going to re-enabled YouTube Plus, YouTube Video, Audio, Nimbus Screenshot, Foxy Spider. That's one I was just talking about. I don't need that right now. I don't want to enable all of them, just the ones that I really think I'm going to use. So far, my laptops, I can hear it running and working, but I can see what I'm doing over there on my laptop. So I'm just going to pause it. It looks like that was the culprit. I've tested it on 2 machines now, but I just want to see whether my live stream's good and how long it's been going. See, now it's an hour and 13 minutes. I actually thought I might do a 30-minute video this time, but nope, not me. But when you're really trying to do something, that's what this whole YouTube Live thing is all about. Like you can just do a real task and just do it start to finish. And of course you could do where you're talking to people and all that stuff. And I suppose if people were watching it and asked me questions and I saw it, I would answer. But okay, so I'm going to restart the browser now, see if it works okay, and probably that's the only add-ons I'll leave going for now. But finally, it's been at least 2 months, probably longer than that, probably 3 or 4 months, the way my time flies with me. But so I have all these going. I use that scrapbook quite a bit. It's kind of hard to find. If you just use them in the browser, it's easy to find them. You can just do that and show in sidebar, and you can find them. You can search. It's pretty cool. Things that you find interesting. But to find it on your machine, now that's a whole other story because they're not labeled like this. They're in auto-generated names. But as long as you're in the browser you saved them in, and it's hard to, you can do it, I've done it, like transfer it to other browsers, but it's hard. But anyway, I don't know why I mentioned that, but I love that. These virus scanners where you can right click on stuff and scan links and stuff like that. Okay, bookmark checker I used to use a lot, but it takes too long when you got as many bookmarks as I've got. Copy all links is not really of any use. Didn't turn out to be what I thought. That's a recent one. I've used the Foxy proxy for years, but I don't know if I really want to keep on using it or not, so I'll leave it disabled. That spider one I was just talking about. The translator I like, but it doesn't seem to be working. And they've kind of integrated some Google. If you're on any Google searches, you can just right click and open it anyway. Period. Link Gopher was kind of interesting, but it didn't really turn out to be a lot. Manage folders. I don't even know what that is. What? That must be one of those really old ones that it's talking about. Look at that, Firefox 1, Firefox 1.5. I think this is one of those old ones I was talking about. I'm going to remove that. I don't need that. I don't think that's got anything. Whatever it was, I'm not missing it. Okay, media converter. It's a really cool add-on, except for it does use some serious resources. And simple sort bookmarks is a good add-on, but actually the regular bookmark manager has got to where it sorts them really. It used to take forever. You just couldn't use it, but now it works quicker than this one. Zoom page I don't think I need because I can go to let's see, I'll just go to my dashboard. I want to test it again anyway, but you can hit Control Plus, make it bigger, and without that Zoom page add-on anymore. Control Minus will make it smaller. So far so good. It's still moving. So yeah, I don't need that. I don't ever click it when you put a little icons up there where you could click them, but I don't do it that way. I use my keyboard, so I'm moving the mouse around just to see that it's working. Okay, so that was it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. And I mean it. It has been a thorn in my side for a while. I just hadn't want to get down and try to figure it out. I'm gonna close it because it still uses quite a bit of resources. So I don't want the Zoom page anymore. I'll get it while I realize what I want and what I don't. I better get rid of some of these. Yeah, Link Gopher wasn't good for anything for me. Didn't do anything that I really. Copy all links didn't really do what I thought it might do. It just didn't turn out to be something Bookmarks checker can be useful, but it will take a long time to check thousands of bookmarks like I have. And I might want to go back and use some of these others. The Google Translate thing, I'll leave that in case I find out I can't. It was working and I didn't realize it. But every time I try to right-click on a page to translate it, nothing would come up. That's what you were supposed to be able to do, if I remember right. Oh, selected text. And I think that part still worked. But what I wanted to be able to do is just right-click on a page and translate the whole page. And if the page is in another language, there's something I'm thinking that'll work. I'll leave it. Maybe that's what I've been using. I'm not sure what I've been using. Simple sort bookmarks. I don't really need that anymore. Okay, so that helps clean up. You don't need to have too many add-ons anyway. They all add up to using up resources. Let's see. Bookmarks checker. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not going to re-enable them though. I'm just going to leave them disabled for now. See how it runs. Google Translator. Let's go see what's going on with everything's okay. That's good. I think I finally fixed this ridiculous problem. Oh yeah, I had tried to use that YouTube dashboard. I don't need that open anymore. It didn't work. I had thought about trying to see if there was a way to get a link off that page to use it in VLC, but I don't really see anything other than I'll look over here on my laptop. I meant to check that again before Oh, shares a share link. That might have been it. View on watch page. So I might be able to use that link. Actually, I'm really curious about that. But let's finish what we're doing here. Okay. I keep forgetting to try it. Okay, that's the way I want it. Go back to my dashboard and I'll show what I'm talking about. Getting hungry now. Getting to be my supper time. I got it pretty early today. Right down here at the bottom right. Don't go down there that far usually. Right click, copy. And that's all I wanted from there, so I'm going to close it before it gives me trouble. I mean, it still will. I'm still afraid of it. I still think it's going to log up my browser. Go back here and say open network stream. That's no, that was the other one I was on. Okay, now this is a different address. It says youtube.com C Don Bishop Don Songs. That's what I named my stream. Live play. I think it might. No, it didn't work. Darn it. Okay, but if I wanted to go see that stream over in the web browser, it should work. Yeah, now that's the regular page. Okay, but if I wanted to go see that stream, I can hear me what I just said. So I'm going to put it in my bookmark, so it may already be in there, but there it is, Don's YouTube videos. But yeah, see, you could, if someone was, this is how people would, the page they would get to watch it. And then they could, oh, that's what I was going to say, why can't I type in there? But there's where I could type something if I wanted to. Of course, there's nobody there that I know of. I mean, I don't know, does it tell you? Now, this wouldn't tell you. I think if I go to the live dashboard, it would tell you if there's people watching it or not. Let's see. Yeah, it does right there. I can see 0 watching. So, let's see. That's how I'm going to leave it. And I will leave these other ones in there. And then later I'll just decide if, oh, that translate, that was the other one. I don't think you can, yeah, normally you would see that, you know, translate this page. And when you right click, and of course if it's already, I set my language, you know, to English, and it would say, well, it's already in English, of course. But if it wasn't, you know, in a different language, then you could translate it. I'm pretty sure it at least worked. Oh, almost hit remove. Oh, now you got to restart. I'm pretty sure it would at least work. I think I do use it some, even if I have to, you know. Even there's a mail, yeah. Even if I have to highlight, you know, highlight some of the, yeah, there it is. Translate this page with Google Translate. Okay, it did, but of course it's already in English. Okay, it does work. I think maybe it comes and goes in working. Maybe it stops working, and then that's what I want to be able to do, is a whole page like that. Also, you know, this may be a different one because I had got to where I do this. I go up there and click translate. I either select text or do full page. Yeah, so this is a different one. There was another one I had on here that quit working. So this is a good one. Yeah, I want it, definitely. It does. That's what I've been using. Okay. Now it's starting to come back to me. Slowly, but surely. Surely. Okay, I'm going to leave those like they are. We'll decide later about what to do with them. Okay, so I think I'm going to be okay now. Yeah, see, it's using, that's normal right there, and that's okay. That's on my little home page. It's amazing how much data, though, that our browsers use now compared to what it used to be. The entire cache of your web page used to be default. At first, it was 50 megabytes, and then went up to 90. And I learned about tweaks for Firefox, or Internet Explorer first, and then Firefox, set it up to like 100 maybe. Cache, not memory usage, because you had 256 megabytes of memory on your machine, and 512 finally. I got 512 on my Windows XP machine. But it's amazing how much more and more we keep getting. But looks like it's going to be okay finally. Now, when I want to check on my live video, I can do it on the machine I'm working on, at least for a little bit there. And I can leave it, now that I never did try the laptop because it has a loud fan that rattles whenever it gets to running hard. I didn't want to listen to it. And I kept thinking, well, when I plug in the audio cable to it, it'd been having a little buzz to it, and that drives me insane. But finally today I thought, you know what? I don't have to plug in the cable. I can hear it off its little speakers just to tell what I want to use it for is to know, now that it's got it where it's not locking up, I use it to know when to, my intro music, to start and stop my intro and exit music and stuff, so that it doesn't cut it off in the middle of a note and sound horrible. I used to mix sound for bands throughout the whole entire 90s, almost every weekend, and I used to do that stuff right. And it's a lot harder with a computer and a mouse than it is with a real console mixer. But yeah, looks good finally. There's so much, there's so many things you can do, but it's quite a bit different than doing it with software than it is with hardware. I mean, a computer is hardware, but the way you control it's so different. Of course, now the mixers, they have software in them too, but the digital mixers, I've used mixers with a little bit of digital features, but I haven't really done any mixing. The last thing I actually mixed live was in like 2001, I think. So I haven't done any mixing in a long time. I've done a lot of recording on my computer and stuff, doing videos and stuff like that. But yeah, see, here's my backup of my video right there. It takes a little longer to grow the file, but it should be all right. And I haven't ever had any try. Since I've been using OBS Studio here. Those are not all the videos. They're just the ones that I haven't backed up. They've probably already been all backed up, but the brand new one here. But I hope it's all working good. Normally I can see the file growing. But my stream is still good, so that's what matters most. As long as my stream's good, I don't have to use the backups. I still keep them, But anyway, when I'm using GTK to record my desktop, I learned to figure out that sometimes the audio would drop out when I was using ALSA audio, and if it's just sitting there like that, then that meant I wasn't getting any audio because it's taking longer for the file to get bigger. Still recording video, but not audio. But normally when I look at the that seems odd. I hope I'm not having a problem. That would be bad. Let me look in my program. It's still recording according to the program. But normally it does, by now it should have went up 2 or 3, numbers there, 0.789, like that. Huh. But I can actually go to my live stream and, well, actually I can just, instead of doing it on this machine, I can do it on this one. And I should hear myself talking, and so I know it's going up to YouTube, and that's what matters. Yeah. It only thing is when you pause it, it doesn't automatically catch up to where you're at. So I have to hit reload. to get it, and then it'll come back to where you're at right now. But I did hear myself, but that was from a while back, whenever I paused, quite a while back. So I have to wait. Guess I could have just done it on this machine, but I was kind of worried about having trouble. Okay, now I see what I see on my desktop machine. Oh, but then it automatically remutes it. Okay, so it's working. I just heard the things I said a minute ago when I went here. So I guess we're finally good. And guess I'll quit. I'm going to have to eat. And that hasn't moved, though. I think maybe I'm starting to wonder if this recording is fouled up somehow. It should be growing. It could be that this app's once in a while Crusader will stop updating its screen like normal, and everything's working fine, but it's just not updating the screen, and that could be what it is. You can't hit reload. All you have to do is go out of that folder and back in, though, to get it to reload. Just use my keyboard to do it, but it's not growing. That's weird. I don't know, but if it did mess up, that file got messed up, then that's okay. I mean, as long as my live stream is working, I'm still happy. So, this dawn, and there we go. Finally fixed it live on YouTube. Took forever, didn't it? So, but actually, I've spent 3 days before trying to figure that kind of stuff out. Kind of hate to do that. Go into all that one at a time, enable, disable. That's about the best way to figure it out. And it did turn out to be an add-on, too. So first thing to check, if you get script errors or your Firefox is using up a bunch of memory or CPU or both, start checking through your add-ons. You can, I'm not going to go back and try to find that. But there is a way. Go to their website and they'll tell you how to disable all. Start it in safe mode and disable all. Actually, it may be up here maybe right up here in the tools or something. Could be on the add-ons page or something. That's the thing. I just can't remember. So that's why I don't do it. Just because I can't remember it. If I could be in the help. There it is. Help. Restart with add-ons disabled, but that disables all of them. Now be careful with that. There's one called refresh. It will delete all your add-ons, and then you got to start from scratch. And but if you're desperate, and nothing's working right, and you don't know what to do, you can do that. And not only, what though? If I remember right, that Firefox refresh, and it'll ask you sometimes from time to time. It looks like you haven't cleaned up your Firefox in a while. It'll come up down in here somewhere. Do you want to refresh it? Yeah, you do that, and if I remember right, you also lose all your bookmarks. So if you don't have them backed up, you lose every bookmark. That would be thousands of bookmarks for me. Let me show you. I hit Control Shift O to open my bookmarks. I use them constantly and have for many years, and that's a lot of bookmarks. And I use them constantly, so I don't want to lose them. So I need to just manually back them up again, because that's the only way I get them backed up. Matter of fact, I'll do that while I'm thinking about it, and I'll just show how to do it right here. So I just go to all bookmarks, import and back up, and I export to HTML. And I have a folder where I keep them, and they get rather large. There it is. And I'll just click on the last one and put the new date on there. Yeah, 02. I wish I had a good, reliable way to do this automatically. Okay, 02, 13, 17. Oh, that's the wrong machine. Why don't I just go down here to the, there we go, Lenovo i5 bookmarks. It's got a weird name on it. There, that's a little better. 02 13 17. I'm pretty sure I've backed them up sooner than that, but that one's got spaces. I don't really like to do spaces in the names anymore because it can cause trouble in some apps. Like sometimes you want to use it some other way besides you know, restoring it back to that same. And it'll just and the way I tell when it's finished is what might not, oh, there, it's finally 1.8 gigabytes over here. So I guess it's just growing slower. Maybe some of the changes, I don't know what I've really done lately, but where is it? There it is. I see it's only 93.7 kilobytes, and it's going to be something like 68 megabytes when it's done. So you just have to wait. Don't close Firefox till it's done. So that's what I always do, is go in there. Oh, that's the wrong one. That one. 7.1. Now it's growing finally, beginning to show that it's growing. But looking at the older files there, it's going to be somewhere around 68 megabytes. So, yeah, I never have found an add-on even, you know, that would just periodically do that for you, because they are automatically backed up in the Firefox system folders, but they're in JSON files, and all they can do, you know, with an HTML file, you can import it, and it will add those to your existing bookmarks. If you go back to a JSON backup and restore it, it'll go back to that point. So if you don't realize you've lost them for a day or two or a month, then you're going to lose everything you've got in there right now. So it's a terrible backup system. So I go ahead and just export them. And if you go to a different machine and you want to import them, and you can just, the only thing is you might get a bunch of duplicates. That's why I used to use those duplicate bookmark finders and all that stuff. Well, that's why I didn't delete it out of my Firefox. See, now it's 80 megabytes. It's probably, if it quits, it's probably quick. It looks like it's quit growing. It's probably done now. That's a lot of bookmarks, though. But you have to remember to do that ever so often. And yes, if you wanted to, you just go import from HTML. Import data from another browser, you can do that. But see, right now I could do that. I don't want to, because thered be a lot in Chromium or Chrome, or either one. Be too many. It's a whole nother set of bookmarks. I have done it before, so I don't want to do it again. And let's see, backup, that's the normal backup. You could do that, but if you hit restore and you go to one of these dates, you're going to lose everything from that last backup point. And it can be a lot for me. Maybe for you it wouldn't be a big deal, but it would be for me. And I can hit backup. See that JSON. I can do that, and I've done it. But see, that's manual. That's not automatic. There is an automatic backup that happens, but it's not. I don't know how often it does it. Let's see. Oh, I'm not in my home folder. There's this one. Can't remember where it's at. There's lots of stuff in there to look at. You look for JSON files in there. Did I do something wrong? Oh, they're probably not in there. They're probably in, so they're not in that folder. They're in the .mozilla folder. That's where all the actual controls, everything that makes it really work. .json, I believe. Now see, there's a lot in there, And there's more to it than just your bookmarks too. So you've got it uses this type of file for all kinds of things, plugins, all kinds. So you have to look and find the ones that are bookmarks, and I can probably search for it and find it quicker. I don't know if it's bookmark or bookmarks, probably bookmarks, but there we go. That is an old add-on though. Weave was an old bookmarks add-on. So anyway, it's hard to find, but somewhere in there it does do it, but it's hard to work with. So there we go. I'm back to a usable browser again. Oh, let's do this. Well, I did that in youtube.com. I'll just go to my. It was doing well. It doesn't always do it when you go to your channel, but it has done it. But I don't think it will because I was able to go to my live feed. That live feed did it every time without fail. So, but it was doing it here sometimes and not always. So, yeah. Okay, so I was trying to figure out what that light was. I finally realized what it is. That's my. I was like, what in the world is that? That's my That's my magnifying glass. It has LEDs on it. Oh, I'm not aiming at the camera. There we go. That's a great magnifying glass. I got two of them. You can do two different brightnesses. Of course, it didn't show up to the camera, but that is a lot better. My lag is not near as much with more 25 frames per second. I mentioned that earlier. That one's a lot closer view. It's smaller, but it's a closer view. So instead of having that tiny little, I got one out in the garage that I've had for many years, little tiny circle that might get you up close, but you got to blind yourself looking through it. It's good. Actually, it's a little closer than this. This one will do. But this one's a lot closer than this one. So I'll show them this way. The little one's a lot closer than the bigger one. I usually use the bigger one most of the time, though. But I have to use this stuff all the time to see things. But I have another one that I left out in the garage, so it's handy out there. It's got a little circle on it, like most of them used to be. Or most of them are still, really. But it gets tedious looking through it, too. So, good, finally. Okay, I did something today. It's already 6 o'clock almost now. So, I guess, excuse me. Of course, I would be on the camera when I do that. I get used to being on the desktop background, and you can't see what I'm doing. You don't know if I do stuff like that. But unless you can hear me, but then you're not quite sure what's going on. But yeah, my next thing I'm gonna do is get back in here, and I guess I'll try it in this browser now. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. I doubt it because that's a whole nother script error. When you click here and you say import from. Maybe it'll fine until you select. And what I do is I go to my albums. I carefully organize them the way I want them, and then I click on an album, and this would be the one I'm going to do next. And if I select it, it'll immediately start uploading them. If I hit select right there, and you can't see how many's in there. If you just go to Google Photos, I don't think I can go to Google Photos in here. Try. Let's go to my home page and find it that way. This wasn't working, and I finally figured out this part right here wouldn't work, and I finally figured out that I needed to disable this page and add block plus, and then it started working. But I can go to Photos, and normally I can't use Photos in this browser. I can use the developer one, and it won't. I can go to here, and that's about it. If I start playing anything, then it won't work. But yeah, this will tell me how many's in there. That's what I was getting at. But so I try, and right here, this one, I was just putting everything to do with computers and my mobile phones in this folder. What I didn't realize is that they only allow you to do 300 at a time. So I had to start over and reorganize and start from video 1 from way back, old videos, 16 years ago, and start putting them in new folders and make sure I don't. And then what I didn't realize, which one is the 2, 1, where's 1? This one has 253. I like to never got those uploaded because I kept getting script errors. So then and I had already put 152 in this folder. So I thought, well, I better start putting no more than I did one that was 50 or 90 videos, and it worked fine, no problem. So if you're gonna do that, put if you're using Google Photos to back up your photos off your phone, your computer, or whatever, and then you want to transfer them to YouTube all at once, like I've been doing, which is probably not the worst way to do it, because then you can't manage it. It's too much to manage. You ought to keep it down under 100, or probably maybe 50 at a time to get it to work without a lot of trouble. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go look through my other videos, and I haven't renamed them all, so I didn't name them as I went. That's where I got in trouble. I used to always do that, but I quit doing it because with Google Photos, it was easy to keep them in order by the standard names and the dates, the way Google Photos works. And I got to where I got lazy about it, I guess you could say. And yeah, this one only has 14 in it. That's the next new folder I started. But I can't upload that folder. So I decided, well, I'm just going to keep adding them because I had actually shared this playlist with some people I know. And so, yeah, that goes all the way back to, if I click on play on that one, that's back on my 320 by 480 240 webcam, I think.
Okay.
And it's playing.
The videos come in.
But it might, I don't know if it'll act up or not. It might not now. Maybe it was that same script. Of course, nobody's ever going to watch all these, but you can thumb through them and see, if one of these looks interesting. And so, and you can go by date and all that stuff. There's usually I didn't notice that when you're in this playlist, there's no date tab over there. There is, and it's not very accurate anyway. But anyway, I'm still adding them to it because I already pointed this to a bunch of my friends, so, or a bunch of them, 2 or 3. But or you can keep them private, whatever you want to do. You can just share them with certain people. This probably be the next thing after YouTube, unless they decide they don't like it and they cancel it like they do some of their projects. But it really works pretty well. It's made me able to organize. I mean, I've always tried real hard to organize my folders and everything, but it's still really hard to I would have never got them uploaded. Actually, I swear you could upload more than one video at a time at YouTube in the years past, but now you can only do one at a time. And it uses a lot of resources. It could have been because of that script, though, that it was doing really badly. The last time I did one, the other day. Sorry. But now I can organize them. This was something I did just the other day, yesterday, the day before. So once they got uploaded from my phone, then now I'm ready to upload that group, and I can put it in its own little playlist on YouTube. But only thing is, YouTube doesn't accept OGV, OGG video files. And again, I've said this 1,000 times. I swear they used to, but they don't now. So I have about almost 200 desktop videos I was making with GTK Record My Desktop right there, and they all got to be converted before I can upload them. Google Photos won't upload them. They just don't accept them. And I kind of think that maybe I'll fix my Google Photos problem too here today, so that's good. I hadn't thought about that. But now that I've got OBS Studio up and working the way I want it, and it's doing pretty well, that's the way I'm going to be making my videos. I'll just make live videos, and they're already uploaded when I'm done. And because I finally decided after all these years, I'm not going to get around to it. I kept holding them back and not uploading them because I wanted to edit them and make them perfect. And I'm just not going to get around to doing it. I've edited a few here and there, but you know, there's only so much daylight, so much nighttime. There's only so much hours and minutes in a lifetime. So it's either do it or not do it. That's what I finally decided. So I'd rather do it, even though they get. I have a tendency to make them too long. I was trying to get to where I could see my. Oh, I can look over there. Hour and 50 minutes on this one. That seems to be my time. Every time I do a live video, I do either an hour or 2 hours. It's never less. But I'm actually doing real live things, you know, like I come with something I want to do or a problem I want to solve, and I actually just keep going until it's solved. So that's what happens. Well, anyway, yeah, I don't like that tape on there. I put that on there earlier. I said that at the beginning. I was going to try to set these up as quick buttons to change, you know, between my different scenes in my here, you know, these scenes here, and it wouldn't. It actually didn't work. The program wouldn't recognize them when you punch the buttons. So I guess I'll take that tape off here pretty soon. I thought, well, I may leave it on there because it tells me some of these already work for certain functions on the machine just by default, and the machine just recognize. You know, this Fedora just recognized them and set them up, but most of them don't do anything. But about 3 or 4 of them did. So I thought, well, I'll leave those labeled, you know, as to what they do. But I don't like looking at that stuff on there. So anyway, stop rambling and get off of here, Don. Okay, so I'm done, and nobody's watching. So who knows? Maybe my grandkids one day will want to see what their grandpa used to do. So who knows? Okay, that's it then, isn't it? Okay, it's done, and finally got my Firefox working again on YouTube and maybe even on Google Photos too. All right, bye-bye.